Hi guys. So what we're going to look at today is performing a urinalysis. So this is actually the second part. The urinalysis has been done. It's completed. And something within that urinalysis has determined that this urine here is going to need a microscopic performed. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this urine and I'm going to show you how I pour it into one of these tubes. So the easiest way to do this, the urine cups, this is actually just a sterile container. We call them urine cups a lot because that's what we get in them most of the time, but you can put any sterile specimen in them really. They're pliable, okay? So if you can see, I'm squeezing it a little bit, and it's going to be easier to pour into this tube when I squeeze it, make a little bit of a spout on there, and we pour it into there. Okay. Now, depending on your site and on the requirements, you're going to fill this tube anywhere between 10 to 12 mLs, and that's going to be full. So we're going to put the lid on it. We're going to put the lid back on our urine here. I'm going to grab this Sharpie, and I'm actually going to label this, and we're going to label it sample 1. You always have to label your specimens. And while we're talking about that, this urine down here, whoops, I'm going to put a 1 on there. Doesn't have a label on it, and it should have. I want you to look at it and see. It gives you a spot to label the lid. Well, we never label the lid, okay? Because if you're doing about 10 urines here and you take this lid off and lay it down and you have a couple of them open, you no longer know which specimen's which. So when you label these specimens, you always label it on this side. Okay, so there we go, sample 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this specimen here, and I'm actually going to grab this one here because we're going to put it into the centrifuge over here. And what I need to be able to do is I need to balance this centrifuge. So whenever you use a centrifuge, you have to put a counterweight on the opposite side that's almost exactly the same. So we use that one as a balance. Whenever you put a urine in here to centrifuge, you want to make sure it has a lid on it. Okay. So we have that in here. This centrifuge is set up where you can do multiple things, multiple specimens. So I have it set for urine right here. If we were centrifuging blood, we would change it to blood. If we were doing fecal specimens, we could change that too. I'm going to turn it on to 5 minutes. It's going to go, and we'll come back in a second. Okay, our timer went off. I'm gonna get our specimen out of the centrifuge. Balance in the rack. We're gonna go down here to the sink. Okay, what we do, when you dump a urine, you guys might not be able to see, but I can see just a small amount of sediment right here along the side. And so when we do a manual urine, we're gonna take the lid off. And what we want to do at the sink, remember, it's okay to dump urine down the sink. It's not necessarily considered a biohazard. But when we do this, we're going to take it, we're going to dump it straight up and down and right back up. Okay, so we're just going to pour it like this and up. And what this tube is designed to do now is there's been this small amount that has stayed in the tube. Okay, and what we can do with that is we're essentially just going to shake it a little bit and resuspend whatever sediment was left after centrifuging, because that's what our centrifuge is designed to do. All of the particulate matter collects at the bottom. Okay, we're going to go up here and I'll show you what we do next. We're going to get a pipette and we're going to go over here, and what I have ready to show you guys, we're going to use glass slides and cover slips for this. So you take your pipette, you squeeze the bulb a little bit, and you put it in here, and then we're gonna mix it up and down a little bit to just make sure everything that was in there is resuspended. Then we're just gonna pull it out, and we're gonna have one little drop. See, we're gonna let that drop right onto the slide. We'll put that in our rack over here. And then we're gonna take a cover slip. We're just going to get this little cover slip in here. It's just a really thin piece of glass. It's probably really hard for you guys to see. It's really small. And we're just gonna sit that right over top of the specimen we put on the slide. And then that's gonna spread it out evenly for us so that we can take it over and look at it now under the microscope. And there'll be more to follow on Microscopics. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.